Hi everyone, my name is Heather Aston and this is my YouTube channel, TT's Trinkets and Treasures. If this is your first video, welcome. I'm so excited to have you. I hope we keep you entertained and educated enough throughout the video that you'll want to become a subscriber, change all the notifications to all so that you don't miss any future content that I may put out. For those of you who are coming back again and again, thank you for your continued support. I greatly appreciate it. So if you've been around for the last week or so, you know that I'm dealing with like horrible sinus infection on both sides of my face, from my tear duct all the way down. It's a whole thing. If I put anything on my face, it's causing stuff. So no makeup, no hair products today. I'm just trying to keep things simple and easy, much like the 28-day of men's jewelry channel that we are in the middle of. Today is day 7, as a matter of fact. And today we're going to play with some beads that we're going to feature on Wednesday's live sale, May 28th, 2025 at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We would love to have you come out. I hope you are going to enjoy seeing some of the beads ahead of time. And then come back on Wednesday night to see if there's something you would like to feature. So let's go down to the mat and see exactly what we're going to be playing with today. As you can see, it is turquoise, 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 turquoise. So most of this did not come from Bernice. It came from another source. But these perfectly drilled in the center little pebble beads are amazing. Got those from Bernice. Got these beautiful light blue turquoise bead nuggets from Bernice as well. And then we have these black tuxedo beads. They're called tuxedo beads because they are matte except for a line right across the middle of the bead, which has been polished. So now obviously these, and some sterling silver spacers. Obviously using these, you're going to have a more expensive project. It doesn't need to be as expensive as all of this goes. You can go with a slightly lower grade turquoise nugget. You can get these chunks, which are beautiful and can be used, but you can use magnesite. There's some really good faux turquoise out there. Instead of using the tuxedo beads, you can use some buffalo horn beads that are very inexpensive but do the trick. And then you can use silver plated or even silver alloy findings to kind of take the price of everything down. So I'm going to move all the stuff we're not playing with off, though we might come back to these. I'm not 100% sure. We'll get around to it and we'll both be surprised. So I want to start with a bracelet and we're going to make it out of this. And then if you saw my unboxing from last night, I got some pretty cool little like feather pendants that I'm trying to figure out where my camera is. Sorry, it is over way too far. Like, there we go. I want to be able to stay on in where you guys can see me. So we're going to start with a bracelet, and then from there we're going to go and make a necklace. As I was saying during my recent unboxing of my latest scoop, there are a couple of of similar pendants that we could use. Obviously, it's not sterling silver coming out of here. I probably should have gone and saw what Bernie had, but I have like this little pendant that isn't much. And then there's two feather ones in here, actually, if I can find them. Hey guys, at least I actually have this stuff right here. I didn't have to pause it to come back. Just let me dump some of this out real quick so I can hopefully find the feathers. Those are not them. Those are wings. There's those. Oh my goodness. Did I pull them out for safekeeping and then forget where I put them? That would be a very Heather thing to do. I do something like that on almost a daily basis. Like, no joke. So I will find the feathers. Should I choose to use them? I don't know that I will because, like I said, and I'm not look. Don't mean these ones. Don't worry. I didn't like completely see that. They're little feather ones, and they have a really cool loop on the top that would look brilliant on leather. Also, you could use things like crackle beads and stuff, you guys, to take down the price of a project. That was an epic failure. I just dumped all of that stuff not into the container. I have a few of these porcelain beads or porcelain pendants that I could use. There's some silver alloy spacers in here. You guys, there are so many ways to find and procure cool beads that I hope you give people a chance, you give these little stores a chance. A lot of us are small businesses with the larger ones closing down. We're having to like stick together to keep things going, and we can do that by ordering from small businesses across the United States, especially if it's another women's owned business. I swear, you guys, I literally pulled them out so I wouldn't lose them. So I lost them, but I did. Anyways, okay. Let's get back to what we're doing because that was 2 minutes of absolutely nothing. Okay, so we're going to start off by grabbing some silver beading wire right here. Like I said, we're going to make a necklace too, but the necklace will likely be just the front, and then we will do leather up around the back of the neck. So here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that we're going to start out with a tuxedo bead, right? And then we're going to use a silver spacer like that. Then we're going to pile on a few of these chip beads. And if you guys look at them, you'll see they're all centrally drilled. And this is because Bernie buys his chip beads and stuff from the same vendors that he buys his beads from. So obviously they are of higher quality and are dealt with more carefully. So we're just going to go through. I'm not quite sure how many I'm going to put on between each spacer. And I went back and forth about whether or not the 8mm tuxedo beads were too big. And if, Steve should have gone with the 6, but I'm liking the 8 actually. So I'm actually very happy with the ones he picked. Okay, so that is 5 beads right there. And I'm loving it. So we're just going to go back to silver. Then the tuxedo bead. Another silver bead. And then back to the chip bead. So, you guys, I'm loving hearing all of the stories about the in-person and or virtual beading parties you guys have been doing using Beading Besties. In case you haven't heard of that, there will be a link down below to the Beading Besties. Just know that when you submit a membership request, you need to answer all of the questions or your membership request will be denied. The reason for that is we're trying to protect you guys from spam and bot accounts. We have had a barrage of different people joining a group, maybe commenting once or twice, and then they start spamming scams of like, oh, hey, you can buy this for this amount, or you could buy this for that amount. And it's a scam. You're not going to get anything. They're going to get your credit card information, and it's just not good. So I require a lot of answers a lot of questions, ones that kind of have to be typed out, just to make sure that you guys aren't a spam and or scam person, which I doubt you are. But that is why we do it. If for some reason you ever feel like you were rejected for one reason or another, you can always reach out to us. Also, if you see such an account, please notify the admin team for it so that we can take care of it and get them out of our group. Okay, so there's our second section of turquoise. So we're going to go to another silver spacer. Sorry, nipples. A tuxedo bead, another silver spacer. Okay, guys. Now, here's the question. Obviously, probably not on this one, but this blue is a little bit lighter. I'm probably not going, or am I gonna do it? Oh, I might have just changed my mind. Do I want there to be a focal that is bigger? Do you see how the blue is just slightly different? This is like a softer blue, whereas that's the more, and I know they're both turquoise, but do you see how this kind of leads a little bit more green, whereas this is more on the blue side of the turquoise? They still go together. I'm just not sure. I think that I would have to like find a really cool one if I was going to do a focal. What about that one? Maybe if we spread them apart and we had them in between, that one matches. Oh, that one matches. Okay, found one. So now there's going to be a focal. But what I was going to say is that by adding a focal and or some more feminine type spacers, like maybe daisy spacers or whatever else, you can change it from a masculine to a feminine design very quickly. We're going to go ahead. And you guys, like these right here, these were 43 cents a piece. The little sterling silver beads. Yeah, they were more expensive. So I think I'm going to go tuxedo. Let's see. How am I going to set this up? I think I'm just going to do silver turquoise. And then I'm going to go back down the same other way. I'm just going to leave that on the very top of the bracelet. Should I do it just right next to the tuxedo? This is the only one in this little strand I have. No, it needs the silver. Okay. Do I do a secondary bead here? Trying to decide. Another thing you guys could do, you could also do wood beads. Those are more inexpensive. Let's see. So then if I do two, go to this one, go to this one, go to this one, tuxedo. I may end up taking this whole thing apart. So I hope nobody is like, oh, anyway, so we will be speaking of which, we will be showcasing these beads this week. I wish this was like this much bigger. It would be perfect. I don't know. I think I'm gonna leave it simple, guys, and I'm not gonna use the focal. When I go to the bracelet, it's not gonna be like as big of a deal. Here's another one that matches though. Oh, yeah, this one kind of sort of matches. Okay, if there's three, let's go ahead and try that. Then I'm more okay with it. Do I want to do silver, tuxedo silver? And then the next one, let's see. Silver, we're going to do a little bead. Silver, tuxedo, silver, last bead. What do you guys think? I know you're going to think, and I'm not going to be able to hear it because I'm not live, but I think that's nice. I think that's a very handsome necklace. Again, this could very easily lean. I like to say gender fluid because I don't think that there's any part of this. This bracelet would be stunning on a female. If you wanted it to be more feminine though, change out these little what are they called? I know what they're called. I can't think of the term. Swap these out for some sterling silver or silver plated daisy spacers and you're good to go. I mean, I have some right here. I'll show you. If you just want it to be a tad bit more feminine for your liking, all you would need to do is, I'll show you right here. You could use, not that bead. I would use two just to give it a little bit more of a presence. But then you put this one on. Look, immediately it just changes the look of it. You could also use silver plated hematite spacers between this, something we are going to look at on Wednesday as well. So that's how easy it is to differentiate one more masculine gender fluid to a more feminine version of it. It's not a difficult shift from one to the other. That's all. If you guys don't take anything else from these tutorials, please take that. Maybe you don't like the things that I'm pairing together, but I'm hoping that you're still going to feel more educated and confident in swap. That bead does not want to go on. In taking something from maybe leaning more masculine to a more feminine design, or from a feminine to a more masculine design. It really isn't that big of a difference. Again, Wednesday night, I'll probably be showing some of these designs just to kind of, and I can do the female version just to, we can start out the show like that, where I just kind of show you. But we're going to feature the turquoise. We're going to feature the tuxedo beads, the hematite beads, all of that kind of stuff on Wednesday night. So we'll be good to go. There we go. I'm liking. So I'm glad I found 3 that I could use in the center because I really like that actually. A lot. So, and then we'll go into the necklace, which will be further away from the little chip beads. So it won't be as big of a stretch to switch from, like, you can wear them together, but it won't be as obvious that, let me turn this one away, round. It won't be as obvious that the colors are slightly different. So we'll do the necklace, probably much like this. And then I'm going to put black leather up around the top and down and around. So I think that will be good. So we're just going to keep going. Here we go. 5. We're going to do silver, tuxedo silver. I'm sorry if you, I know I normally like pause it and go off, but we're only at 20 minutes. And then I'm going to do the necklace and I will probably do it like that. Okay, so we're going to check it on our mandrel. At this point in time, right now, we do not have any of the findings on, and those will probably give us a good inch. So we are just about at 7 inches. What am I going to do to lengthen this just a tad? Because anything I do on one side, I need to do on the other side, or it will seem completely off balance. So, am I going to add? I'm probably going to change these to 7 real quick. So, and I'll cut the other end off so that I don't have to take everything off. Let me just change these sections to 7 of the chip beads over 5. And that should give us exactly the length we need. And like I said, I'll cut this side and do it over there so that I'm not having to take the entire bracelet apart. 2, 3, 4, 5. I think my husband just got home. Hold on, I'm gonna pause. We'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So I ended up, that was my husband getting home. So I measured this on his wrist, and with the 7 in each section, it was too much. So I went down to 6, and it's at a great length, especially because I'm going to be attaching these to a magnetic clasp, and then I'll be doing a necklace as well, real quick. So what we're going to do is we are going to get our bead along crimps, which should be right here in the bead along crimp tube holder that I have. But I just don't see it. Great. Okay then. And I unpaused just after I couldn't find what I'm looking for. Well, I didn't let you guys down in that regard. This happens quite often. And I completely have no idea what I'm going to do. These ones are size 2, but it's empty. These are size 1. If I just do a size 1 so it's small and do a standard crimp, I think that's what I'm going to do, especially because my crimpers are right here. And I can do the micro crimps with this. I also do have a micro crimper. I'll show you the difference as soon as I can get these open because I haven't opened this size yet. Okay. And like I said, I am going to do a direct crimp on these. So I'm going to crimp it directly onto the clasp, which I have right here. Okay, so we're going to put our crimp on. This is the number 1 bead along crimp tube. You know what, guys? I don't think this is going to fit on. I'm not going to be able to use this. But did I just... Nope, those are the number 1s I just had. I don't know that the ones will fit on here, let alone through it twice. Nope, that's not going to work. Okay, I need to find my silver crimps. Size 2 crimps. Bum, bum, bum. All right, hold on, guys. I'm sorry. Just one moment. Okay, I found them. They were right in front. Just above my bead mat being hidden by something else. So we're going to put our crimp on. And then we're going to feed one side of our magnetic clasp through. We're going to take the crimp tube down. Oops, pulling a lot. more than it needs to because I don't have this end like crimped off. I'm going to take more of this so that there. Now I should have plenty over here. Okay, there we go. Let's go ahead and crimp this right after, we spill everything. Okay, we're going to feed this through some. I'm going to grab down till the loop is a decent size right there, just a small one. And because I found the beetle on, I can just use the magical crimper. So the magical crimper takes a size 2 crimp tube and turns it into a little silver bead. There is a concavity in the center of the pliers. You're going to put your crimp tube in the middle of those and squish down until you don't feel resistance anymore. Usually, if you do it correctly and keep the crimp beads centered into the pliers, which are a little bit more tricky when you're trying to do it with I might have to jump ring these on, which is okay if I do. Okay, not quite. There we go. Got the first one. Now we're going to switch. Make sure that it's in the concavity again. Squish again. We're going to come down, squish again. And this is rough. And one of the reasons that I very rarely use a magnetic clasp, because this is difficult for me with my dexterity issues. I just need like one more little squish. There we go. See, just needed one more. Whew. Okay, we're going to go ahead and we're going to tie this off and trim off the excess. And now we get to go do the other side. Doesn't that sound like fun? No, it doesn't, but it has to be done. So we're going to put the crimp tube on. We're going to go through the other end, and I'm going to take the other end off real quick, hoping that that will make it easier, because then I can get this magnet to stick to something else. And it will be a little bit easier, or at least I'm telling myself that it will be, to put it on. And it's not, oh, it did actually go through one of the little turquoise beads. I'm very impressed. But again, that's pretty typical with chip beads that I get from Bernie's Beads. They are well drilled. Their pearls seem to have a little bit larger of a hole, stuff like that. Okay, I'm just going to do the one and call it good. Going to do a similar size loop on this side that I did on the other. Maybe I will clasp it so that it doesn't want the rest of my... Okay, come on. I just need to get the first squish. Squish. And it doesn't have to be a hard squish, guys. Like, you don't have to Hercules this to take it from a tube to a bead. It's just going around, and they say if you go around northeast, south, and west, it should be good. And they are correct that it usually is. I go until I don't feel the resistance of when I'm crimping. I don't feel any like resistance because it's now in the perfect little bead. So there's nothing on the crimp bead to resist from. So yeah, I think I want one more little squish right here. And I'm done. And then I'm going to come down and I'm going to do the exact same thing that I did last time, which is to cut the excess beading wire off And there we go, you guys. We have a very nice men's turquoise bracelet. It's gorgeous. Give me a minute to clean up. I'll be right back and we'll talk about the necklace. Okay, I figured it out. I've decided that I'm going to use this Larvikite shield bead. Larvikite is also known as black labradorite. You can see why when you see that flash on it. Very nice. I'm going to use this as my focal. Because of the flash in here, I think it pairs well with the tuxedo beads. If I wanted, I could have gone to the next size up, but I think 8's going to be good. And then I'm just going to do a silver, a turquoise, a silver, back to the tuxedo bead, all of that. Just to make sure that my cord or my beading cord is good, I'm going to use some beading tube inside of the hole, both to help it like be on there more firmly because it's not just jostling around, but also that will keep it from rubbing on the beading wire, which we most definitely do not want. Okay, pull this back ever so slightly. I don't know what I just shot across the room. Is that enough or is that too big? That's like perfect. Okay, so jewelry tubing, you can find this on Amazon, guys. That's where I found it. And I love this stuff. You can even knot with this tubing. I've done it before. I made a bracelet using this. So my husband could wear it at work and not worry about anything else. Okay. Also, we are going to tie this off and we're going to put it onto a leather. So that'll be gorgeous. This will go up and around the back. So a little bit touch of class, a little touch of everything we need. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to string through the beading tube that is within our Larvikite. And now it centers perfectly. We're going to put on a silver right there. We're going to go to the black tuxedo. See how nicely that looks? We're going to do a silver, and then we're going to do a turquoise. Another silver, tuxedo, silver. One more piece of turquoise, and I might actually add another piece. I'm not like real firm in that this is going to be my final number. I think I probably will add more, actually. I want a little bit more length than what I currently have. So let me pick out some other pieces. Like I said, I'm trying to stick closer to like this color family. I'm wondering if I shouldn't have added chip beads to this as well. Like if I were to, should I just be stacking them up like I did on the other one, guys? It's a lot more noticeable when it's next to it, is the only thing. But if I just use this one that has more of the green in it, and I think this one that had more of the green in it, or am I just going to chip it all the way? Guys, I think I'm going to chip it all the way. I don't think I'm going to use the nuggets on this. I think that I'm going to leave the nuggets alone. I'm just going to chip bead this to the way that I want it. And I actually think that I'm going to start. I think that I'm going to start with the silver and then chips. And I'll show you why just a minute. I will show you exactly why we're going to do it that way. So, and then we're lucky because we'll be using leather. So even if we do decide to go with a magnetic clasp for the necklace, it will be with leather. We'll be tying a knot and then attaching it, so it won't be as difficult. So I did this. I started with chips because if I started with the black bead, it's not going, I hope you can see, it's not going to go up as nicely because the black up against this, I'm going to go ahead and cut this even though I know I'm not going to use this amount. So if I would have gone silver, black, silver first, I'm going to show you that the transition while being straight might look better like that. But if you go up, do you see how you've got this whole gap right here? I don't want that. That's why I did this, because it can articulate more nicely. And I might not even put a silver spacer there. I'm going to see, but I'm going to go this way so I don't have to pull off my chip beads, which are the more difficult strung beads on this project. So they just take a little more. Oh yeah, I don't know. I think I'm going to put the silver back on, but I'm going to just do silver and turquoise. And then I will go to the black. When I get to that portion, I am going to go ahead and string 7 between each of these. So there is 5, 6, and 7. And then it will go silver, black, silver. Yeah, I like this chip beads, guys. Like I said, I'm glad that we're doing the split strands now, so that if any of you guys want, because the turquoise is more expensive, but it's because of the quality of the turquoise. So if you want split strands, we'll have that availability. So we'll grab some of the nice turquoise out. It'll be good. Turquoise, tuxedos, they go together. 5, 6, and 7. And then we're going to go silver, black, silver. Trying to decide how many passes I'm going to, or how many sections I can go. It is oftentimes easier to do a necklace inch by inch rather than the entire thing. That's why I stopped and was like, wait, is that what I want? But if I'm looking at this as an inch at a time rather than the overall necklace, it makes it easier because it breaks it up into those smaller pieces. And then, we just keep going. If my beads and my fingers would work together. I'm going to try to do it like this. This is totally a skill. Any of you people who are really good at getting beads up off the mat with the end of your beading wire, much respect to you. Okay. If you have a situation like this where you're like, oh, they're not laying nicely, just twist them ever so slightly and it will find another piece. Now, obviously, if I put something on there and it's just completely off and it's going to show like a huge gap in between the beads, those ones I will take off and put back on so that they are more, so that they lay nicer. But yeah, oftentimes you just kind of have to twist them ever so slightly and then they will go from there. I actually learned that from Amy Campbell. She is a chip bead connoisseur, that's for sure. She's very good at picking stuff up off the mat, and yeah. So I used to take beads off all the time, thinking that they didn't go together. And then she showed that part, and it just kind of helps them to stack up a little bit better. This is 4, 5, 6. And it also taught me that they don't have to stack perfectly. It's not necessary. There's no requirement. Sometimes there are going to be ones here or there where they're just not sitting right. And those ones I take off. But the rest, I mean, if you look at this, I was not sure about these. And look at them now. They're stacked very nicely together. And all I did was put an extra little twist in. I think I'm going to do one more pass and then do the leather. That's what I'm thinking. So that'll be pretty. The only beads that Bernie doesn't have right now is the larvikite. To my knowledge, he may have some, and if he does, we'll pull it out. The thing with the pendants at Bernie's, guys, is most of the time they are a one-off. So I just need to know that you guys are going to be good with whoever claims it first getting it, and that it's not going to be a situation where people are let down or angry or whatever else. Just know that it's nothing personal. They're literally, most of the time, is one of any one pendant. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. See how beautifully that stacks? You just got to twist it a little bit. That's all. Just a little twist. So there's 6 and 7. Now we're going to do the other side. I think this is all I'm going to do. I say that now, but watch. Hey, it's women's prerogative and a men's prerogative to change their mind. Just make sure you're changing your mind about the right things. We have 1, 2, 3. See, I don't know how you guys do this. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I really don't know how people can just like slide beads up onto their string material so easily. It is not one of my talents. It most certainly isn't my super power finding things that you can't find. Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I put too many on right here. Also, don't feel like you have to perfectly match up one side to the other. The only time that becomes a problem is if you get so far in and one is like a full inch difference from the other. If you just go along and add these on naturally, you, for the most part, are going to be fine. If you get, like I said, if you get to an area and it's completely noticeable, swap out a few of the last ones on for thinner or thicker chip beads. You'll be good to go. 4, 5, 6, 7. Right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep. And I'm just gonna twist those and look. I hope you guys saw that. These were completely like cockeyed everywhere and made no sense. And all I had to do was kind of just spin them a little bit and they fall into place. So here we go. Oh, guys, and if you're like me and can't do well with like the extra long videos or whatever else, please feel free to like put me on double speed or whatever. That's what I do with some videos. Because I don't have time to watch all of my fellow content creators who I know, love, and want to support. Sometimes the only way I can do it is to have them on in double speed. They're still getting their views, their likes, their all of that. It's just happening quicker on my end. So if you need to do that, go ahead. I have not learned how to do timestamps yet. So that's something I'm going to have to try to figure out. I just figured out how to link like what videos pop up at the end so that I can put the link for the rest of this series, the playlist for the rest of the 28 days of men's jewelry challenge, will be good. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Oh, you guys so proud of me. I know how to count. Sorry, I'm in a mood, just trying to get through the day. As I have said before, God's greatest gift is that we get a fresh start every morning. But in order to do so, we can't carry things from one day to the next. Like, you literally, not to get churchy or anything, but you literally just need to set it at the feet of our Savior, as he's already felt that pain for us. And this coming from somebody who is a chronic pain sufferer. Like, I'm telling you, working with these beads it helps so much for multiple reasons. I'm not sitting here completely focused on my pain. I am I'm doing what I like to say is turning my pain into beauty. It's just my way of dealing with it. I know not everybody can do it that way. We have the hashtag beating yourself better. Like, we're all doing all of that. And, it's good. Here we go. We are just about done. And then we will match up the sides to make sure, like I said, we don't have a big, drastic change in size from one side to the other. Make sure that we're all lined up. Get this up off the mat so we can make sure that we're good. And have a place to set out our necklace without having to worry about knocking other things off. Okay. So, if we hold this down. Oh, do I have an extra one on this side? I do. Hold on. We're going to actually put on one more section, it looks like. I got ambitious on this other side. And don't worry, any of this beading wire that I don't use, I understand it's very expensive. So I make sure that I reuse it. I've made an entire bracelet out of S hooks that I just made 2 little loops and held them together by a crimp bead in the middle and turned them into little beaded links. So 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Plus, you can use them to make tassels with or whatever else. Okay, much better. They are, like I said, just about the same level. Let's measure where we are lengthwise. I want to keep this at about 20 inches, but I'm going to make it adjustable. So right now we're at 12. So we need to add 5, 6 inches on either side. These super magnets are no joke. They are sticking to everything they can. Sorry, I'm a little parched from talking to myself. Here's the necklace. We're just going to go in with this. We are going to put our crimp beads on, crimp tubes on, not crimp beads, crimp tubes, Heather. Use the proper word. What the heck? Oh, it's right here. I need to be careful, keeping those old bead-along things, because the first time that I bought these, I bought a set of silver from size 1, 2, 3, 4. I wish there had been 2 of the 2, because that's the most common one, but such is not the case. So this is going to be much easier because we're just going to make a loop that we are going to then knot our bead to, and then we will knot it together and put a crimp bead at the end. So this side, we are going to need it to be able to be looped through. So we're going to make the loop a little bit bigger than what I typically would, because I'm going to want to be able to get, come on. Okay. So why does it do that? It goes from like the right size and then all of a sudden I lose it. So I'm going to keep it about this big, you guys, which is about the bottom of my pointer finger, because I'm going to want to put this, I'm going to want to put leather through it. Then we're simply going to grab our magical crimper. We're going to seat that magic. We are going to seat this in the center and not at an angle. I'm going to pull this down just a little bit and I'm going to give the first squish. And then I'm just going to continue to keep that centered in that ball, and any silver that came off before is now getting compressed together like that. And you have a little silver bead right there, rather than what could be a scratchy crimp. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to cut off our excess. And then we're going to go and crimp the other side. Again, we don't want it too tight, but we don't want any big gaps. So we're just going to take it. And if there's any that aren't lying right, you're just going to give them a little spin. Look how nicely those stack up, you guys. So nice. Take our other crimp too. We're going to make our other loop real quick. And I'm going to try to keep it the same size as the other loop, which I made it smaller. That should be good once I crimp. It's going to be more rounded at first. And then when you crimp it, it gets that more like teardroppy shape. We're going to crimp. Turn it the opposite way. We're going to crimp again, keeping it centered. One more time. Oops. 3, 4. I'm going around because for some reason there was a lot that came off of here and made my crimp look kind of scary for a moment. But if you keep going around, it smooths down and you're good to go. I had not been successful with crimps for forever. And then it was one of Becky Foster over on Bikito Burrito. She did a Merry Makers video with Rachel over at Sam's Speed Shop, and in there she showed a completely mangled magical crimper thingy and then showed how to continue doing it, and I learned I was just giving up too early. Okay, so for this, you guys, we're simply going to cut. Wait, do I want to make it adjustable or do I want it on a magnetic clasp? Just go like that, knot it off. Or do I want to make it adjustable? So I want to make it adjustable. I'm going to need at least 8 inches here because it's going to need to be big enough when it's stretched completely to be able to get over the head. So I think I am. So if I have 12, okay, got to do some math. Hold on, guys. Okay, so if one side of this, it's more like 7. No, like 6.5. So we need it to be 24. So 6.5. If we add 8 inches on to 6.5, that's 14 inches. 6.5 that's 14 inches. But some of that is going to be needed for knots. So yes, we are going to go ahead and cut probably 9 inches because I'm going to need to knot that on. Wait, what did I just say? 9 inches? I'm going to need to knot this on, and then I also am going to need a knot at the bottom of it so that it doesn't come, you don't pull it out at one point or another. Okay, so Leather Cord USA, the only place I ever get it. You can tell it's theirs because on the mat it says LC USA. Best leather I've ever used in my life. Love it. I'm now wondering if I made this too short. Because I'm going to need to like make a loop right here. And then that's going to take like at least 1.5 inches. So 6 by 13. It should be okay. If not, I can undo the knots, take them off, and go back about my business, cut a little bit of bigger because I will still use it. So now I just need to find my tube bead, which is right there. I'm just going to do a double one just to preserve some length. I'm going to slide it through, pull out the other end, and then, like I said, I'm going to try to pull as much front on the other side like that. And then at the end, I will crisscross these at the end with some silicone beads. I'm going to try to use as little leather as I need. I kind of did this one too far up, but we will see. Around twice in through the back of the tube. Pull it through, stop. Sorry, that was my alarm. Let me know that it is 4 o'clock. I'm also going to tell you guys something. So this is what a clean barrel knot looks like, a double one. It's good for its purposes. I like that. I like the crisscross look on the back of the double barrel knots. It's like my favorite thing. Okay, I gotta scoot this down just a little bit because the other side isn't quite, the loop on the other side is a little bit longer. I think that's about good. Yes. Okay, so then this is what I'm worried about. I still have to tie a knot on this. Let me see. Take my glasses off. If I have it pulled to there and pulled to there, I can get it over my head, but it's going to be too short. I'm going to cut another 2 inches on both sides just to be on the safe side. I'm being very careful as I am taking this off, and I simply do so by pushing, not dragging, not scraping, pushing that extra loop down and then coming and getting the other loop out. There's still a knot here, but I'm going to go ahead and pull it up through the end. I still have a 9-inch piece of leather that is perfect for a leather bracelet of some sort. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. I just marked my leather with my nail after I told you guys not to do it. You see how I'm just pulling it down? I'm pushing. I'm not like grabbing. I'm going to grab it. There we go. Okay. Take it off. Finish a knotting process. If I can. Do you know that, like, after I learned how to do barrel knots, I searched everywhere for how to unknot a barrel knot. And I literally sat there and practiced until I figured it out myself because there was no point. Nobody showed what happens if you pull off too, or if you don't pull off enough leather, you pull off too much, whatever the case may be. It was not available on the net. So I will definitely have to put that in the hashtag. Okay, so if this is 9 inches, I'm just gonna go another 3 inches. So this should be, I'm going to do each of them at 12 inches is where I'm going to put it. And then I will use this cord to measure out my other strand. That leather will not go to waste, I promise you guys. It's too good of a leather to do that. Alrighty, here we go. I kind of wish I had crimped these loops not as big, but it's okay. The leather isn't going to create the kind of friction that a metal bead or focal or whatever would. So we're going to once again grab our barrel knot tube, put it over. I'm going to go around once, come up from underneath, put it around once, put it around a second time. And then once you do that, you want to put your barrel knot in at the back. If you don't do that, you come around, you're going to have a half of the knot here. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to go in through the back, pull it out. I'm going to hold it so you guys can see. This is what it looks like at this point. I'm holding it in place so I don't lose my knot. Now I'm going to grab the cord and I'm just going to strengthen it. Pull it tight, not so tight that it's going to break, but tight enough. There we go. All done. We're going to do the other side, and then I will show you how to do the back of it as quickly as I can, because this video I did not want to be this long, but I hope you've learned from me and or my mistakes. Like, if that's all we achieved today was how to go about untying a barrel knot, I will be a happy camper, because I know that I could not find that information when I started knotting. So there we go. We've got the loops about the same size. The only difference is that this is shorter than it is on there. So I'm going to go ahead and trim that down so it matches better. And then I'm probably going to have to, oops, sorry guys. I'm probably going to have to like make a size adjustment when we get here. It's actually not that bad. So now we're going to grab some of our silicone tube beads. Sorry guys, had to put the laptop down for a split second. We're going to pull out 2 black silicone beads, which are my favorite way. You could also macrame this close, guys. I just prefer these little silicone beads because I was always doing the knotting too tight so that it wouldn't slide right. And I didn't like the idea of the friction between the nylon and the leather. So all we're going to do is we're going to put our 2 beads, both of them, on one side of the leather. See, just like that, 2. Looks nice, almost looks like a knot itself up against the black leather. It's great. I haven't looked for these in brown, but I'm sure I could find them in brown if I really wanted to. I have 2. I'll show you the colors I have. Sorry, there's like so much stuff right here. Okay. I have 2 shades of pink. I have a light pink and a dark pink. 2 shades of blue. Again, light blue, dark blue. And then I have clear ones that are just literally clear. And then I have black ones. Now, I'm going to show you guys something just because I have a feeling that you will come across it on the web, and I want to show you the reality of the situation if I can find them. Oh my goodness. Come on. Here they are. Okay. So you will undoubtedly, oh, these are not covers, not the right ones that I'm looking for. Okay. You guys know the little Pac-Man shaped things? And you put it down as a crimp cover. That's what they're called, not Pac-Mans. They're called crimp covers. And they close. The problem is that if you get those too small and try to close them over the top of these, you will compress what can fit in between those. So you need to go a size or 2 bigger for that to work. You can also buy metal beads with no seam that have silicone in the center. For example, I just had them right here. I had some little ones, itty bitty ones, right here that we have moved stuff around throughout this video. That I'll just tell you that are very similar to the little bale beads. That's what they are. They're bale beads that we got in the bargain bead box this month, and those work, but they're much harder because unlike these, you cannot stretch the other ones the same way. So I'm going to come in with a pair of my needle nose pliers. I'm going to go through the first one first. I'm going to stretch it out, and I'm going to feed my leather straight through the middle of there, and now it's on both leather. Then I'm going to go back to the second one. I'm going to open it, and I'm going to feed the leather through. Much like jump rings, you guys, you do not want to stretch this out over and over. You want to do it for as much as is necessary to do something without making it difficult. I did, however, just have an idea. Because, I can't keep anything simple. I was wondering if this silicone bead would fit into this little, and it does indeed, guys. You can also make your own by doing something like that. But again, you can't stretch these open when they're in a bead. Okay, so now we have this. We're going to pull them down. Try to get them as even as possible. Very good. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to do a knot, a double barrel knot, just like down here up at the bottom. But when I do so, I'm going to try to keep it as far down to the end of the leather so that you have the greatest length option. So we're just going to come down to the end, use our knot to go once, go twice, and you can see I did this one really small, but I will show you, even if you are running out of leather, if you can get the end into that tube, it can be possible. I don't know why I'm trying to make things difficult. 1, 2, we're going to come around, and again, it's still short. Why did I do that? I didn't make it any better. But, okay, here, now we're doing all right. If you push that through, you will get the leather at the end. You can grasp it and then pull the knot tight and have it as close to the bottom as possible so that you have the greatest length options. Now, is it necessary to do all of that to get it at the end? No. This is probably up too high, but if I just put it right there and then I start to move the knot down, which is possible, then I can start to tighten it. Ooh. Just like that. And then we're good to go. So we've got both sides knotted. They crisscross in the back for some adjustability. Instead of using Sharpie, because I don't like that this shows white, I'm going to use my thread burner, and I'm simply going to tap, 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 and I'm going to tan this hide. I do not want to burn it because it will get crispy. So you're going to tan it, not give it a burn. See, it doesn't take very long, and my thread burner needs new batteries. So you can see it doesn't take that much time. I used to use the Sharpie method, but I live in Arizona, and my son came home one day where he he'd been wearing a bracelet I made him. And when he sweated, all the Sharpie marker came off onto his skin. Okay, did I get everything? I guess I did. I didn't realize I had done it. Oh no, I didn't do this one. I was like, I swear I only did 3 of them. So I just go and lightly tap until you don't see the white anymore. You don't want to go too long, or like I said, it gets crispy. Nobody wants some crispy burnt out leather. So you guys, here we go. These were our projects for day 7 of the 28 days of men's jewelry challenge. I hope that you're going to enjoy them. I hope to see you on Wednesday at the live sale where we will be offering some of these beads for your buying pleasure. Have a wonderful rest of your day, guys. And since we're not doing a live tonight because it's Memorial Day, I will see you all live on Wednesday for the sale. I might pop in tomorrow, middle of the day, and do a live. But we'll see. I'm excited. I hope you like these pieces. I hope you had a wonderful day. If you could like the video, leave a comment, or if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe. Change the notification bell to all so that you can so that you don't miss any new videos that I release. Have a wonderful day. Thanks for being patient while I'm dealing with all of this. And I hope that you guys have a great weekend. And as always, happy beading.